we decided to test the knowledge of average female Americans. We began by asking them questions about pop culture, and then we began to ask them questions about the wage gap and how it would soon affect them or has affected them in the workplace. Okay. Who won the 2017 Super Bowl?
The Patriots?
Okay. Who is Kim Kardashian married to?
What's his name? Kanye West.
Who is Kim Kardashian married to?
Kanye West.
Who is Kim Kardashian married to?
Kanye West.
Who plays Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Johnny Depp.
Okay.
This isn't very economic.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Who plays Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, I don't know.
Who plays Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Johnny Depp.
Okay. In which city were the 2016 Summer Olympics held?
Oh, I was gonna be like, they haven't been held yet. Last year, wasn't it in Asia? Somewhere in Asia? I don't know.
In which city were the 2016 Summer Olympics held?
I don't know.
Where were the 2016 Summer Olympics held?
Brazil.
Sings the song Single Ladies.
Beyonce.
Okay. The song Single Ladies.
Beyonce.
Who sings the song Single Ladies?
Beyonce.
Okay. So what is a wage gap?
It's the fact that women are paid less than men.
What is a wage gap?
It's the wage gap is the difference between men and women being paid, but like the same position they hold the same position.
What is a wage gap?
What? What is it? 26.3 cents. No.
Okay. No, but what is it? Like, what is a wage gap? Like, what is the wage gap? Like, what is the definition of a wage gap?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Do I have one?
Huh?
I don't know.
No, okay.
The gender pay gap is the average difference between a man and a woman's wages or salaries. There are two distinct numbers regarding the pay gap: unadjusted versus adjusted pay gap, which takes into account differences in hours worked, occupations chosen, education, and job experience.
So the explanation for the gender pay gap is that women choose to study less lucrative subjects, enter lower paying professions, and stay towards bottom rungs of the career ladder. However, that's not necessarily true, and the main reason is that employers are the ones deciding to pay less. So when a job is dominated by women, it's not seen as important, so it pays less even if it requires the same skills and education. So the work is equal in value, but because it's done by a woman, they get paid less.
What group of people does the wage gap affect the most?
Women of color specifically, but also just any women.
Okay. What group of people does the wage gap affect the most?
Women.
Who do you think is the group of people that's most affected by a wage gap?
Middle class? Americans? I don't know.
The group of people in the United States that have been affected by the wage gap are women. Although women have been fighting for equal pay for equal work for several decades, this issue is still prevalent in our nation today. Women of color are significantly more affected by the wage gap today. These women fall as victims of prejudice not only because of their gender, but because of their race. Around what year was the wage gap between men and women first noticed?
Like early 2000s, probably.
What year was the wage gap between men and women first noticed?
I don't know. 60s.
Contrary to widespread belief, this struggle for equal pay did not start in the 1960s. It actually began in the late 19th century. Many others claim it began in the 1960s only because that's when they actually started paying attention to it and not swiping it under the cover. In World War I, the women took on men's jobs due to the men being deployed to war. This is where women began to feel the wage gap. They did the same work as men, but got paid significantly less. So women decided the only way to get equal pay for the equal work that they did was to fight back, so they began to lead several strikes.
So gender bias does exist in the workplace. Many promotions tend to go to men before women just because men are more favored. However, in some places, men are below women. For example, retail stores may hire more women than men, while construction companies hire more men than women. Therefore, gender bias does exist and impacts both genders.
Do you honestly believe that women will ever be seen equally in the workplace?
I don't believe that women will ever be seen equally in the workplace.
I think the wage gap between genders is very ridiculous, especially coming from the female perspective. I can say this because as a woman, I struggle very hard. I always have to do twice the work as a male. They have it kind of easy, and at the same time, I get paid less than they do. As a woman, it's really hard to be taken seriously, and this is it has a huge impact on my life because I have many children I need to feed, especially because their father left. But you know, it's very hard for us women out here because some men are not even qualified as us, and it's just we're really taken for granted. It makes me so sad because I just can't do it.
Women have been fighting for their rights for several decades, specifically their desire to earn equal pay for equal work. Women suffer from this issue because they are responsible for paying bills, and some have to take care of the expenses of their children. Today, women have become more active in protests and marches, which focus on one central goal: equity in the community, specifically in the workplace.